Hey, so you want to make a Rocket plugin, huh? Okay, so you're going to want to download SteamCMD, so download this, save it to your desktop, and then go ahead and extract the zip file wherever you want, or just get the exe out of it. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to install it here and paste it. So that'll get you SteamCMD, just double click it, it'll download Steam. Okay, so once you got this command prompt open, you're going to want to type in login anonymous. That'll pretty much anonymously connect you to Steam servers. And then it's going to take a second to gather user info. Then you want to type in force install dir and then do like /unturned or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. That just pretty much, that'll make a file, as you can see right here, with unturned. That's where it'll install your games. Next, type in, alright, this will be in the description, app update 111.0390. That pretty much installs the unturned server, and this will take, it's about, I think, 1.6 gigs. It'll take a little bit. Okay, and once it's done, it'll say success, it was fully installed, and then you can just type quit, press enter, and it'll go away. So now you have unturned installed right here, and it comes with a few starter bats that you can edit to set up your server. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Okay, so once you paste this line into here, you can change this to whatever you want. This is the name of your server, this is the folder that'll be created. And this is if you want to use BattlEye or not. I don't know, it's not necessary, you can. It's not really important. No, not BattlEye, sorry, this is VAC secure, like Steam's VAC system. Anyway, doesn't matter. I use Insecure because I don't know why not. And yeah. Once you're done setting that up, just double click it. It should start up like normal, mount the core, whatever. Same thing your unturned loading screen's doing, except for on a command prompt. Now it may ask you if you want to allow access, just check both and hit allow access. And then you can just type shutdown, the server's been set up, kinda. Ta-da. Okay, so first go into your commands, you can change the name to PluginTest or whatever, it doesn't matter, the name's not that important. You may want to add a password so people won't join. And enable cheats. And I need to change the port because I have another unturned server running on my network. You probably won't have to do that. And you can also change the map to whatever you want. Default's PEI. Another thing, if you want to change some configs, you can do that. Add an icon if you want. I don't know, this isn't that important. I'm going to turn these off. Alright, now if you want to, you can start up unturned, and you'll be able to join your server. So then all you need to do, you go to connect, type in localhost, and the default port is 27015, but that's already being used up on my network, so I changed it to 27021. Oh, right, and then type in your password. Hit connect, and then just join. It's that easy. That's how you set up a vanilla unturned server. But we don't want a vanilla unturned server, do we? We want a Rocket server. And that's there. I'll show you how to do that next. But yeah, this is we're in a server now. I do want to preface this by saying this is not a public server yet unless you port forward, which you can find how to do online. That's not important right now. And then, oh right, you also should probably admin yourself, so you can do shutdown from the game instead of the server. Okay. So you might want to leave your unturned up. And now that we've shut down, we need to install a Rocket into our server. So all we have to, this is very easy. All we have to do is go to extras, copy this, and go to modules, paste it. Bam, Rocket's installed. That's all we gotta do. Now if we boot up the server again, you'll see Rocket unturned for unturned. And it'll load up with Rocket. Which right now doesn't do it. Okay, let me preface this by saying Rocket is a module that allows you to load custom-made plugins into a server that users do not have to download. That's what Rocket is. Okay. But you're here for making a Rocket plugin, yes? So to do that, we have to, you don't have to exit Unturned, but I'm just going to, and then boot up. Okay, you need to install Visual Studio 2019, 27, it doesn't really matter, you just need to install Visual Studio. And get that, all you gotta do is just Google Visual Studio, and then go to Downloads, get Community, free download. It's linked to your Microsoft account, just hit free download, and eventually it'll bring up a page like this. You just need to install Visual Studio Community 2019, and make sure you have .NET development. That's the one that's important, .NET development. Okay, and then once that's downloaded, you can launch it, and it's gonna ask you to create a new plugin, or sorry, create a new project. And once that's done, you can filter by C#, Windows, and then search for a class library. What? No, hold on. Okay, filter by class library, and then you want to find a class library .NET framework with a C#. Make sure it has a C# logo right there. Okay, now you can change your location to wherever you want, doesn't matter, I'm just going to keep it there, and name it something, it doesn't matter. Tutorial plugin. Yeah, sure, why not? And make sure it's on .NET Framework 4.7.2. 4.8 does not work right now. Might work later, but it doesn't work right now. So just play it safe, use 4.7. Doesn't really matter. And hit create. And it should bring you to a page. You have class 1. Rename this to something. This is going to be your main class file, like where you store your translations, all that stuff. So we're going to call it plugin main. It doesn't matter. And then hit yes, that'll rename the class too. So now we have to import some files so it works with Rocket. So if you right click on references here, hit add reference, we're gonna go to browse because you won't have any of those. So go to that installation you just made with SteamCMD, Unturned. Go to Unturned data and manage. So you're gonna wanna pick out Assembly-C#, Assembly-C# first pass, UnityEngine, and UnityEngine core module. Now, if you want to do ray tracing, which is pretty much like see what the player's looking at, you're also going to want to add UnityEngine.physics module. So that's like, say you want to get the vehicle the player's looking at. You're going to need physics module. We're not going to use that for now, unless you want to. If you want to add it, whatever. Okay, so go ahead and hit add, and then also hit browse again. Go back to Unturned, and go to extras, Rocket.Unturned, grab these 3 files, hit add, and hit OK. Okay. This is just a quick tip. You want to browse through everything you can do with Rocket. Go up here, go to custom component set, then hit these little 3 dots, and you can add, and you can browse to those same files, add them to your custom set down here, and then only those will show right here. So you can see all the commands and stuff, and all the data types, everything available. Okay, so let's start with our first plugin, make it do something basic. So make this class derived from Rocket, it's called Rocket plugin. It's gonna ask us to import it, add a using statement, whatever. And then using Rocket core plugins. And that should even it out. Okay, so if you want to be able to configure, if you want to have a configuration file for your Rocket plugin, go to add, a new item, and name it something, config, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just make a config file and make it derived from iRocket configuration, iRocket plugin configuration, sorry. And then hover over implement interface. So this is how you make your XML configuration files that plugins have. It'll generate them automatically if you have this file. All you have to do is type public, a data type, and variable. So say, or let's just do string and then printed text. Let's just make it print some text at the beginning. And then under load defaults, you just need to tell it, you just need to tell it that printed text equals hello. That's going to be your default. So that's what generates initially unless the user changes it. So we save that, and then we need to tell it that it comes from plugin config right there. Add that. Plugin config. Oh, right, okay. We need to make this a public class or else it won't work. Okay, next. If we start typing override, and then load, it'll autocomplete to a protected override void load function. This is just overriding what happens when the plugin loads. So we're gonna make it log. So type in logger.log, that's how we import the, it's pretty much printing to the console, only with Rocket. So we're gonna log configuration dot instance dot printed text. We need to get an instance of the configuration, not just configuration. Okay, once we do that, we can save it. But now the start button doesn't do anything because we're in a class library. This is just a DLL file we're making. So we need to go to project, settings, and go to build. Change the output path to C, or wherever you put your unturned installation, servers, plugin test, Rocket, plugins, and then make it output right here. Select folder. Next, we can right click on the solution, and then we hit add, existing project. We want to find the unturned.exe file. So this one right here. Double click it. And we're going to set a startup project, go to properties, change debugger type to manage 3.5, 3, 2, whatever. That stuff. And then you're going to need to change your working directory, should be correct. And we just need to add the arguments that we added before in this batch file. Just edit it and grab all of this right here. Paste it right there. Hit save. You can close that. So now when we hit Control B to build, it's going to build our plugin to servers, plugin test, Rocket, plugins. You may notice there's a bit more stuff here. These are just all the libraries that our plugin used, but Rocket will ignore them when it starts up. For your final, like when you're done with it, you want to delete all this, but for now it should be fine to leave them. So now if we hit start, after we build, you got to make sure you build. Then it is going to start loading up. Just give it a second. Okay, as you can see, it's loaded up. Once it finishes loading level 100, that means it's loaded up. And you can see it just says invalid plugin because of all those libraries that aren't plugins, but it did find our plugin here. And down here you can see it's loading it. It said tutorial plugin, hello. So it loaded our config. Now we can change what it says in configuration here. You can change hello to like, I'm loaded, save. And if we do rocket reload test or tutorial, it'll reload it and say I'm loaded. Now you can only reload if you change the configuration. You cannot reload if you change the actual DLL because it will not let you build because the file is being used, unfortunately. So you have to shut down and rebuild each time you make a change. Okay, that's the end of part, let's say part 0.5 because you haven't actually started doing anything yet. Part 1 will be coming out at the same time because you're not going to need to know how to set it up. You're going to need to know how to do something, and I want both of those available. So just click next or something, I don't know, it'll show up at the end. Okay, thank you for watching, goodbye.